You think sleep is the part of your day when nothing happens. You close your eyes, you go somewhere else for a few hours, and then you wake up. But here is what is actually going on inside your head the entire time you are out. Your brain is not resting, it is running. And the things it is doing while your body stays completely still are so important that skipping even one night starts causing damage that takes days to undo. Most people know sleep matters, but almost nobody knows what is actually happening in there. And when you do know, the way you think about those 8 hours changes completely. Let us start with the one your brain does every single night, whether you remember it or not. 1. Your brain is cleaning itself out. Have you ever woken up after a bad night of sleep and felt like your head was full of something heavy, slow, foggy, like thinking was harder than it should be? That feeling is not in your imagination. It is physically real, and there is a real reason for it. While you are awake, your brain produces waste. Every thought you have, everything you see and hear and feel creates tiny bits of leftover material inside your brain. That waste builds up throughout the day. For a long time, scientists had no idea how the brain got rid of it. But then, in 2013, a team at the University of Rochester found something that changed how we understand sleep entirely. The brain has its own cleaning system. While you sleep, the tiny spaces between your brain cells open up and get about 60% wider than they are during the day. Fluid from your spine flows through those spaces and carries the waste out of your brain. Your body then breaks it down and removes it. Here is the part that matters. This cleaning system barely works while you are awake. It mainly runs during sleep. So, when you cut your night short, the waste does not get cleared. It does not wait for tomorrow. It just stays there and keeps building up. Scientists have found that one of those waste materials, when it builds up over years, is strongly connected to Alzheimer's disease. That foggy feeling after a bad night is not just tiredness. Your brain literally did not finish cleaning itself, and you are feeling the result. 2. Your brain is going back through your day and deciding what to keep. Have you ever learned something new, gone to sleep, and then woken up actually better at it than you were the night before? Maybe you were trying to learn a skill, and the next morning your hands just knew what to do. That is not random. That is your brain doing a very specific job while you sleep. During the night, your brain goes back through the things that happened that day. It takes the things you experienced and moves them from short-term holding into permanent storage. This is why things you learn right before bed often stick better than things you learn in the middle of the day. And it is also why pulling an all-nighter before an exam tends to backfire. A study published in the journal Nature Neuroscience found that people who slept after learning a new physical skill improved by nearly 20% compared to people who stayed awake for the same amount of time. The skill did not just hold, it got stronger overnight. The people who stayed awake did not improve at all. And it goes further than just saving things. Your brain does not just keep everything. It strengthens what matters and quietly lets go of what does not. It connects new things you learned to things you already knew. It finds patterns across everything you took in. People have woken up with answers to problems they were stuck on the day before. And this is the reason. Your brain kept working on it. You just were not awake to see it. 3. Your brain is sorting out your emotions before tomorrow. This one surprises most people. You probably know that bad sleep makes you irritable, but the reason is not just that you are tired. The reason is that your brain did not finish processing the emotional experiences from the day before. Your brain has 2 parts that handle your emotions together. One part reacts fast. It is the part that fires off a strong feeling before you have a chance to think about it. The other part is slower. It is the part that steps back, looks at the situation, and keeps your reaction in proportion to what actually happened. While you sleep, the slower part works through what the faster part picked up during the day. Most of that work happens during the stage of sleep when you dream. A 2007 study from UC Berkeley found that people who did not get enough sleep had emotional reactions that were 60% stronger than people who were fully rested when shown the same upsetting images. The slower, steadying part of their brain had gone quiet, and the fast reacting part was running on its own with nothing to balance it out. So the person who snapped at someone over something small, who cried at something they normally would have brushed off, who felt dread about something that usually feels fine, that person's brain did not get enough time overnight to work through what it needed to. The feelings were still raw. Nobody told them that. And researchers now believe this is one of the main reasons that poor sleep is so closely linked to anxiety and depression. It is not just a side effect, it is a direct result of the brain not finishing its job. And before we go further, if this is changing how you think about sleep, hit like and subscribe. 4. Your brain is resetting your ability to focus. Here is something specific that happens when you do not sleep enough. Your ability to pay attention does not just get a little weaker, it becomes unpredictable. You might focus fine for a few minutes, and then your attention just drops out completely for a second or two. During those gaps, you're not taking in what's in front of you at all. Your eyes might be open, but your brain stopped receiving. It's not dramatic enough to notice at the moment, but it is happening. A study from the University of Pennsylvania had people sleep only 6 hours a night for 2 weeks. By the end, their ability to think and concentrate had dropped to the same level as someone who had been awake for 2 full days straight. The part that is hard to believe is those people thought they were mostly fine. They said they felt only a little tired. Their own sense of how impaired they were had become just as unreliable as their focus. During a full night of sleep, your brain clears out a chemical that builds up while you are awake and creates the feeling of needing to sleep. It also rebalances the chemicals that keep you alert and clear-headed during the day. Without a full night, that reset does not happen completely, and every short night adds on to the night before. The effects stack. The person going through it is usually the last one to realize how far they have slipped from where they started. 5. Your body heals because your brain tells it to. This is the part most people never think about. Sleep does not just do things for your brain. While you sleep, your brain sends signals to the rest of your body and runs its repair process. Early in the night, your brain triggers the release of a hormone that drives the repair of muscles and tissues throughout your body. Almost none of this hormone is released during the day. It is tied directly to the deeper stages of sleep. When you cut sleep short, your body gets less of it, and the repair work does not fully happen. Your immune system also depends on sleep to do its job properly. While you sleep, your body ramps up the production of the proteins it uses to fight off infections and respond to illness. A study published in the journal Sleep found that people who slept fewer than 7 hours were almost 3 times more likely to catch a cold after being exposed to the virus. The exposure was the same for everyone. The only difference was how much they slept. All of this is coordinated by the brain. It sends the signals, it controls the timing, it directs what gets repaired and when. Sleep is not the brain stepping back. Sleep is when the brain takes over everything it cannot run while you are awake and conscious. Your brain does all of this at night because that is the only time it can, and every time you give it a full night, you are giving it the chance to actually finish. Stop cutting your sleep short and start treating it like a necessity.